Hi everyone, it's Bonita from Pennies to Dollars. And today I thought we would talk about times where I could have been more frugal. Growing up, we were very frugal. And then when I got out on my own and I realized that it's hard to juggle a family and household bills and things that you need, I think I slipped up in a few places. Plus, I think there were times that I thought that I deserved more or deserved better than the way that I was raised. In reflection upon that, I have realized that there were a lot of times that I could have been more frugal and that I could have been smarter with my money. I asked my husband the other day, if you had it to do over again, would you do things differently? Financially? And he said, oh yes, I definitely would have done things differently financially. I would have contributed to my 401k younger. I would have been smarter with my money. And I think that's the one thing that I would have done differently as well. So maybe some of these tips will help you today. I hope they do. But I do think that reflection is important on an ongoing basis when we are dealing with how we spend our money. I know that I went to a lot of home decorating parties. My friends were into home interior. I had nothing on my walls, and I got invited a lot to different types of parties, candle parties, etc. And I didn't know how to say no. I would always go because they were my friends, and I would try to pick one of the cheapest things in there. And we didn't have credit cards, so I was spending our living money to be able to buy something from my friends. And then it would seem like after that party, 2 or 3 more people would sign up from the same person, and we'd get invited again the next month. So I do wish that I would have learned how to say no younger, to have known how to get out of that situation, and to have not felt as obligated as I did to spend money that I didn't have on things that I didn't need. The second way was I wish I would have understood that I was using shopping as a reward, that I was using shopping to boost my spirits, that I was using shopping for reasons other than I needed something and it was a need, not a want. There were times in my life that I felt like I was working so hard that I deserved a pick-me-up, or I deserved a new shirt, or I just wanted to get out of the house and I went window shopping. I did learn rather quickly that window shopping is not something I can do. If I window shop, I'm going to buy something. So it's just best that I don't even go to the store. But again, it was something that I didn't grow up doing, and it was something that I realized as an adult that it was at my fingertips, that I could go to the mall and walk around, and that I could look at things, and that I could buy something if I wanted to. And that's when some of my credit card debt started at an early age, was because I used shopping for something other than the purpose of needing something. The third way that I wish I would have been more frugal is Christmas shopping. There were times that I would not be done and I would need another gift or 2 for one of the kids to make it equal. And I found myself just trying to grab something to get done. And maybe it was something that was more expensive than was on my budget because I just didn't know what to get and the shelves were starting to thin out. And we didn't have Amazon back then. We didn't have all of this internet at our fingertips to order items. We had to physically go out and shop. There were times I was out shopping on Christmas Eve in the snow trying to get done. And when you get that desperate to get done, you tend to buy something you can find, not something you can afford. And so those were times that I wish I would have planned better. I wish I would have not spent money on something just because it was there and because I needed an extra gift. My oldest son told me just this week that he doesn't even remember things that he got for Christmas. He just remembers the traditions, the things that we did around Christmas, the times that we spent as a family, the games we played. He remembers that. None of these gifts are things he even remembers, and he's 38. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of comfort as the Christmas season is coming and you're rushing around trying to figure out how to get done and how to get that perfect gift for your kid or for your friend. In the long run, people don't really remember that. It's not the important part of the holiday. And then the fourth way was buying something just because I thought I had the money. If I had money left in my checking account before I got paid again, I thought I had the money to do things, to buy something extra, because I didn't know that you needed to worry about keeping that money into the next pay period. As an adult, I worried about having enough for that pay period, but I didn't worry about having enough the next pay period because I knew I was getting another check. We were always taught to save growing up, but I don't know that I was taught to save with that forethought in mind. I was just taught to save. That's just something that we did. But I didn't really understand the philosophy behind it. I didn't really understand I was saving in case I needed it later. I don't know why I thought I was saving it growing up. I guess I just thought I was supposed to. But as an adult, when I had money left over, I thought I had the money to spend before I got paid again. Now I know better. They say know better, do better. I know better now. And the fifth reason was to prove that I wasn't poor. A lot of times, again, when we went to those parties, I would try to buy something to prove that I had the money and that I wasn't poor. Things that would get offered to you through the school system. It seems like when your kids are in school, there's always another t-shirt, another home purchased pamphlet of some sort for you to buy things for fundraisers. It's just a constant process of money going out the door, and you feel like you have to purchase this to prove that you have the money. And many times there's a rewards attached to how many the kids sell, but they would never meet that reward because we live in a very rural area with a very small school. So people would sell to their neighbors and their grandparents, but then if you went around to those houses, they'd already purchased that. So we learned early on not to even go around and ask other people because everybody had been hit by a family member from that school. But even though they couldn't win a prize, even though there was no chance of them ever selling enough of something for them to earn that prize, I still felt obligated to buy something from them, from that fundraiser. And a lot of times I really just didn't have the money, but I did it anyway because I felt the peer pressure to do it. And then the sixth way was just being wasteful with food mainly. Even though I had a lot of kids at home, I wasted food. I don't even know why. I think I just got busy. Things would get shoved to the back of the fridge. There was a little of something, but not enough for everybody, and you'd have to make something for everybody, so it just got wasted. And we had outdoor animals that I would toss scraps to, so I never really felt like I was wasting it at the time. But looking back, with some of the things I've learned now, I've learned how to incorporate leftovers into the next meal. I've learned how to cook and predict more about what we will be using and what we can use. And I've learned not to waste food and how expensive that really is. Plus, my husband is really good at eating leftovers. But when I look back, I wasted so much food and so much money on food when we really didn't have that much money to begin with, and I definitely could have done better. I hope this is helpful to you. I think reflection is always helpful going forward, even though sometimes it's tough to look at our mistakes. I think it helps us to not make them in the future. So if this has been helpful to you, please give me a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next video.